Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jhammaster J speaking. I would like to say good evening. The time is 7:46 and the date recorded is August 3rd. And cutting right to the chase, we will do another hip-hop video. This one's a bit unique because I've decided to mention two hip-hop artists of the modern era who are very lyrical in their time, in their kind. The type of music that they do, however, is pretty different and not the same. Both of their albums came out, I believe, 2 Fridays ago, in the month of July. And both of these albums, a lot of stuff was dropping that Friday. But these two were in competition as far as the number one spot, if not the number one hip-hop spot. Obviously, Lana Del Rey came out and pretty much took over that spot. But I did want to talk about, two albums that came out. Tyler, the Creator's album and Meek Mill's album. Flower Boy, or Scumfuck Flower Boy, but commercially, because, you don't want to put fuck in a commercial release, on Spotify's stream sites, Apple Music, Tidal, well, maybe not Tidal, but commercial forums that promote the album. It's called Flower Boy. And Meek Mill's Wins and Losses. They both went head to head to see who would win the number one spot. Now, unofficially, Tyler, the Creator's album beat out Meek Mill as far as number one in hip hop. Tyler just wanted number one overall, but that's not beating Lana Del Rey anytime soon. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about these two albums and the battle that these two albums have, and the fact that I can just straight up say that neither person could really lose in this situation. And if they did, someone won in one aspect and another one in the other. Let's just say it that way. But let's get right to it and talk about it. Now, Tyler, the Creator, has been begging to get this number one spot. He's pretty much made it clear on Twitter that he wants this spot. He wants to be number one. He wants it. Meek Mill had his words, hasn't really said too much, but he wants that number one spot. He does. Now, the sad part about it is certain fans are going to act like these people don't want the number one spot. But it's like what Stone Cold Steve Austin said about WWE Championship. If you're not in this company to be a champion, why are you in the company? If you're not rapping to be the number one, or at least some people who take themselves really serious aren't rapping to be number one, then why are they even rapping in the first place? That's how this culture has always been about being the top guy, being the number one guy. That's why Kendrick came out with his Control verse back in 2013. Actually, when you think about this, this month in itself will be the 4-year anniversary that the song was dropped. And I have my thoughts on that, but I'll save that on a Big Sean video. But in that verse, in Kendrick's verse, Kendrick pretty much made it clear that he wanted to be the number one guy in the business. He wanted to be. When he called out the majority of rappers, he wanted that number one spot. You know, Drake, wanted that number one spot when he goes at people who come at him. J. Cole, false prophets, he's made it clear that, that it's not really a factor anymore, no matter how many times Joe Budden wants to dispute it. J. Cole is, at one point before wanted the spot, and he'd stop at nothing. Like, these rappers want the spot. They want the top spot. They want to be where they're at. They're trying to be where they're at. At the end of the day, they're trying to get where they're needed. They're trying to get where they need to be. They're trying to be number one. They're trying to be the top guy that some of these rappers are passively saying they're not about, but they are totally so about. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful thing to look at. It's also nice, because you want to be recognized, and being number one in your skill and your place and your field is, to be honest with you, where it's at. We're not going to act like it's not. You see, that's what it's always been about. That's what this whole arraignment has been about, being on top. And with these album sales, Tyler acting the way he's acting, blaming Tidal like he wants that spot, and that's how he feels about it. Meek Mill wants that spot too, personally. Now, the accusations are there. Tyler, the Creator, has made accusations towards Meek Mill, not directly, but more at Tidal. Jay-Z's business, Jay-Z's funded company, Jay-Z's, streaming service, that they've been pulling off tactics that, hey, we don't want Meek Mill to give the number one. They're doing a lot of tricky moves to make sure Meek Mill's not getting number one. It is what it is. To say that I'm against it and I'm not supporting Meek Mill because of it would be fucked up to say, because there will always be accusations. There will always be accusations. So you can't put it behind Meek Mill. Welcome to the industry, Tyler. And I have my opinion on it, but we'll save it later on in this video. I have my opinion on it, but yeah, welcome to the industry, bro. This is how it works. This is how, at the end of the day, this is how shit gets down. There's nothing else we could say. Meek Mill just wants it that bad too. He's coming off a very terrible year last year. Even like I said, he coming off a very terrible year last year. I would love to say 2016 was a bad year for him, but when he got out, released his album, got with Nicki, everything seemed good until he got cocky. And then when Drake smacked and went back to back, it all went downhill all the way to 2016, 2016 was just not a good year for him. That was the year Nicki broke up with him and made it public. And now Meek Mill's just trying to get back on track, and he's going to do whatever it takes, whether it be the help of Jay-Z's label or not. That's just how it is. That's just how it's going to be. And, you're competing against that. You should know this. So I would never put my release date with Meek Mill if I knew stuff like this was going to happen. That's what I'm saying. But, hey, what do I know? Now, who wins and loses in this situation? As far as being the number one spot, both guys win. Meek Mill wins because fans really rock with this album. Like, fans love this album. They love Meek Mill's album. And they're supporting Meek Mill, whether they're listening to it for free or buying it. They are definitely rocking with Meek Mill, no matter what. You know, I can't say the business like Tidal's rocking for Meek Mill, because at the end of the day, it's their business, and Jay-Z's trying to make his artists look good, I guess. But for Meek Mill, it's more than that. You know, like, the fans really want this album, like, and it shows. Although the albums have been very inflated, allegedly, the bottom line is they're not fake. You know. And as for Tyler, even though he doesn't, you know, even though, you know, he didn't stream his album for free or put it on Tidal for free memberships that most people have as paywall, the fact that the numbers out there are numbers from actual sales are that impressive. Like, you gotta understand, when Bastard came out, that album was very self-released. People classify it as a mixtape. I don't classify Bastard as a mixtape. I classify it as a debut album. Goblin was Tyler's most, you know, I could talk about, you know, top 5 Tyler Creator albums, but that's a video for another time. You know, Goblin was what put Odd Future on the map in general commercially. You know, Tyler ended up getting an MTV award, even though he's just claimed that he pretty much got that for a ratings booster, but just the fact that MTV recognized him, you know, Wolf pretty much, you know, that's when he had his deal with Sony. That's when he did his thing with Pharrell. Now he's doing it with bigger artists. He's making his music known with bigger artists now. You know, when Wolf came out, and the videos, he got Loiter Squad. Like, this guy is literally a guy who's built stuff for the ground up, thanks to his manager, of course. And you know, although Cherry Bomb wasn't really the best album to some people, the fact that, you know, you got Kanye West, Charlie Wilson, Lil Wayne, some of the biggest artists on there, you know, as well as some other, you know, Schoolboy Q. The fact that he's got features, despite it, he's done something, and it's good for him. It's really good for the worth that Tyler's given. So in that sense, you know, he's already where he's at. But you got to remember, these albums that Tyler had before never have gone as high as Tyler's album has gone on this list. Never in his life. They've only gone a certain part in the billboards. They've only reached a certain part, and they've only sold, you know, a certain part. But they were never number one, or they were never close to that. Not that I remember. I mean, I can pull it up. Maybe there is, if you can see it on the video, and I can prove myself wrong. But until then, this is the first time I've heard Flower Boy be literally in the top, literally in competitions of big name artists like Meek Mill and, you know, Lana Del Rey, and you know, competing with Tyga, you know. So in this sense, maybe Kendrick Lamar called Tyler out on Control for a reason, you know. Maybe Tyler was like a big, Meek Mill wasn't the only guy he called out, you know. So Tyler maybe, in this case, the fact that Tyler can still do it without his Odd Future Wolfgang counterparts means a lot. Teaming up with Rocky and everything. I'm just saying. So both guys don't win in the situation. I mean, both guys don't lose in a situation. And when someone does get the top spot, it sucks. That's all I can say. I personally, in my opinion, I want Flower Boy to beat Meek Mill's wins and losses. In my opinion, I enjoyed it more. I enjoyed both albums. Can't critique Meek Mill's album based on first listen, but Tyler's album was definitely in heavy rotation. And I loved it. Me personally, I'm just that bigger of a Tyler the Creator fans. And I'll address you Meek Mill fans later. But right now, let's get to it. I'm just that huge. I'm that big of a Tyler fan. I'm that, like, I can relate to Tyler more. There's nothing else I could say. But on the flip side, I want Tyler the Creator to be number one more than I don't want Meek Mill not to. Sorry, that was a double negative. I'll say it again. I want Tyler the Creator to be number one more than I want Meek Mill not to be number one. Why? Because I feel like Tyler needs to get to this top spot, and Tyler has not gotten to this top spot, and he should. He definitely should reach the top spot with this album. Now, me personally, Tyler coming out the closet, allegedly, who am I to say that it was a gimmick? I've listened to Flower Boy in heavy rotation. I still learn stuff about this album. When I listen to certain songs on here, I definitely could say this song is definitely about Tyler the Creator coming out and what this could mean for his career. I really do not believe this was a gimmick to just release an album. Say, hey, I'm gay, and you have an album not really talking about it. Tyler being, whether he's homosexual or bisexual, we don't know. All we do know is he's been kissing white boys since 2004. And that line had me like, whoa. But there are lots of songs where, not just Garden Shed. If you listen to certain songs, I'm not spoiling it for you, you should listen to the album. There are some songs that talk about his sexuality a lot. So, if I were you, I would check that album out soon. Like, right now, to know what I'm talking about. But personally, it's not about, the album was just so... The album as a whole, as a storytelling whole, was just that good to me that I put that in heavy rotation. The beats, the theme, just everything about it was just so good. This was the right risk that Tyler the Creator took out, where it actually paid off, unlike Cherry Bomb, where he took a risk and it was very iffy. In this album, I feel like Tyler has taken a big step in his career, in my opinion. But who knows? Maybe, and just maybe, there could be more for Tyler in the future. Because I'm rooting for him. That's for Meek Mill, you know. He's from the streets, and I'll let people from there relate to him. Now to address the fans, because this has been annoying me for a long time. You Meek Mill, I don't want to disrespect actual Meek Mill fans. You Meek Mill stans, I really hate using that term, but there's no other way to pretty much separate you two from the actual fans that are genuinely fans of his. You stans kill me. You really do. You really, really do. Like, I can't believe some of y'all and the things that y'all say. Shame on all of you guys. You know, accusing Tyler the Creator for using his sexuality to pretty much sell records, as if none of these people use gimmicks to sell records. All I know is it's messed up, you know, to really attack Tyler the Creator fans, calling Tyler the Creator fans, you know, oh, they're a bunch of white suburban kids who went out and bought stuff. Meek Mill fans don't go out and buy stuff. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. No, I will not accept that. I will not accept any of that, actually. Because y'all were the same people that were ecstatic, happy, jumping for joy, making memes, for God's sakes, of Kendrick Lamar beating Drake out for the first time and having his first #1 album. Where were the... come on. You can't... You mean to tell me suburban white kids listen to Kendrick Lamar too? No. You know, all those people ranting and raving about J. Cole going platinum with no features. Twice. Y'all were there too. Let's not act like Kendrick Lamar. Let's not act like y'all can't afford a Meek Mill album. Oh, like the hood, they can't afford the album. Fuck out of here. Oh wow, that says. I mean, come on. You guys have jobs, don't you? You guys can buy an album. You guys can stream an album, not just off Tidal. Come on, it's fucking $9.99 a month for a streaming service. You know, now streaming services, people make money off streaming services. Get out of here with that BS. People don't even buy physical copies like they used to anymore. No, come on now, get out your feelings. And definitely, because I wanted to point this out, because this one is, I don't know, out of all the comments about, you know, out of all the comments, you know what, before I address that, I also want to address one more thing. When, you know, Tyler accusing Tidal of fudging their number sales to make Meek Mill look good is one thing. I'm not going to say that they are, but to hear fans just go out there and try to reach, I'm Mr. Fantastic because I love reaching too, but god damn, y'all fans know how to reach and act like y'all not trying to reach. When y'all motherfuckers say, well, Drake did it too, it's like, okay, fine. So we're saying Drake's manipulating the numbers to get his #1 album sales. I'm not putting it past that. I'm not putting it past you guys. Well, you know what? Then let's say it. Let's fucking go there. Alright then. If Drake has messed with his number sales to do that, then I guess it's safe to say, because Carcino pointed this out in his video, and the link will definitely be in the description, that Maybe Interscope also had something to do with Kendrick Lamar's Damn album. Maybe Interscope kind of fudged the numbers up with that album too, just to keep you in the hype. Carcino got into real big detail about that. So maybe Kendrick's numbers aren't as genuine either. Since you want to just throw Drake under the bus because y'all don't like Drake. And this whole, this is a conspiracy against Meek Mill. This is a conspiracy against Meek Mill. Like, holy crap. Has life in the real world and our society has fucked us up that bad that we come out with conspiracy theories? Damn. You know, goddamn. And bullying DJ Academics for not reporting Meek Mill on his Instagram page. Like, DJ Academics has openly expressed why he hasn't done that. He's literally told you that he was threatened by the chasers, by Meek Mill, Melly, and people in his camp to the point where DJ Academics straight up said, I'm just not going to report Meek Mill at all. And y'all want him to report him. Carcino too. And yet y'all want him to do an album review. Like, no! You threatened me. And now you want to come back to me when shit's important. Like, fuck you. Get out. You know, leave us alone. You know, we don't want you. We don't need you. You know? That's how it's been. That's how it's always been. That's how it's gonna be. And shame on all y'all for thinking that. You know? And in closing to this statement, does it really matter? If Tidal is messing around with this and doing this, you know, saying, oh, Meek only sold 50%, 50,000 of those, you know, units being shipped were from free YouTube listens and Tidal streams. That's fine. But at least we know who's getting the money and sales when it comes to Tyler and Meek Mill. Last time I checked, Tyler is signed to 5 dudes. Just like people throw the hurdle at Drake. Meek Mill is signed to 5 dudes too. Or 4 dudes. Sorry, according to Meek Mill's words. Maybach Music, Rock Nation, Atlantic Records, and I believe there's another deal. Like, they just eating off him too. You know, at least Tyler's smart with his deal, you know, through his managers. He's always gotten one album deals and all this stuff, but he usually gets his money independently. You know, or Vince Staple was on the Breakfast Club and was like, hey, look, they can keep the money. I don't need it. You know, I just make money off the shows and Sprite. I just make the album, but I do the shows, I make my money, and I'm good. Oh man, you guys are amazing. But either way, who's the real winner in this situation? And if I were you, Tyler the Creator, and I'm talking directly to you, as if you watch this video anyway, if I don't get the #1 spot, I don't let that stop me. I keep going. Because at the end of the day, you won when you lost. The more you lose, the more you win. Because the more you're just trying to get to that spot, just keep going. Don't give up because you're almost there. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Don't give up, Tyler.